Hello, lesson 7a. Live and learn. Grammar for today is first conditional and future time clauses plus when, until, etc. Vocabulary is education and pronunciation is letter U. Урок 7а. Живи и учись. Грамматика на сегодня – это придаточные предложения условия, первый тип, и будущего времени с словами when and until. Вокабуляр сегодня по образованию и произношение буквы U. So, this lesson is about education and provides two different angles on the topic. Этот урок об образовании и смотрим на предмет с двух разных углов. The lesson begins with the vocabulary focus, which revises and extends student knowledge of vocabulary related to education. И мы начинаем с вокабуляра, чтобы сфокусироваться и расширить знания студентов, то бишь ваши, по этой тематике. So, section 1 is vocabulary. Answer as many questions from 1 to 8 as you can in 2 minutes. How many did you get right? Здесь на время, но мы с вами сделаем, как обычно, вопросы. What year did the Second World War start? Which country's longest river is called the Po? What's, oh my goodness, I don't know how to say that. I'll check. What and etc. I think it's quite hard to read it. So please do it by yourself. Answer the questions. Those you can answer. Итак, вопросы. Ответьте те, на которые сможете, и желательно без подсказки. Ну, то есть, несмотря никуда. Пожалуйста, выполните. Квадратный корень из 36 будет What's the square root of 36? Quite easy. Okay, and then complete the school subjects. А теперь напишите название школьных предметов. Okay. Then let's go to vocabulary bank, page 161. Идем в вокабуляр. Education, the school system in the UK and the US. Complete the text about the UK with words from the list. Итак, образовательная система или система образования в Британии и США. Перед вами текст, слова, которые нужно туда вставить по смыслу. Boarding, degree, head, nursery, primary, private, pupils, secondary, state, students, terms. Please learn these words by heart if you don't know them, and then complete the sentences. Выучите эти слова, если вы их не знаете, и вставьте в текст. Then you should do the same about the US education. А теперь то же самое про образование в США. And again, we have one more text. Discipline and exams. Complete the text with the verb from the list in the right form. Но здесь нужно использовать не просто глагол, но еще и в правильном времени, в правильной форме. For instance, discipline is very strict in our school. We aren't allowed. Not to be allowed вы используете в правильном лице. Aren't allowed to take our phones to school and they don't. Okay, do it. And here you have very important verbs on exams. А здесь очень важные глаголы по экзаменам. Сдать, провалить, повторить, сдавать экзамен, сдать успешно и так далее. Okay, let's go on. Make, let, and allow. We use make and let with an object pronoun and the infinitive without to. We use allow with an object pronoun and the infinitive plus to. Let and allow have a similar meaning. We often use allow in the passive. For instance, we're allowed to play games every Friday, but we can't use let in the passive. Итак, все эти глаголы переводятся как позволить что-то сделать, но make здесь больше как даже заставить. My friend's teacher made me do extra homework. И вот после make мы никогда не ставим частицу to. Мой учитель французского заставил меня делать дополнительную домашку. Our IT teacher lets us play games every Friday. Учитель по компьютерам разрешает нам играть в игры по пятницам. The head doesn't allow us to take our phones to school. А директор не разрешает us. Вот здесь to после allow можно. После make, let, to нельзя, вот после allow как раз таки можно. Okay, let's get back to our lesson, page 66. Pronunciation, the letter U. The letter U is usually pronounced as U, like uniform, or A in lunch, and sometimes U, like blue, or just short U in put. Вот тремя способами можно произносить U. Так, долгий звук U, короткий звук U, короткий звук A и, соответственно, так же, как в алфавите. Put the words from the list in the correct column. Итак, вот варианты произношения U, A, U, U. Распределяем по колонкам. Section 3 is speaking. Interview your partner using the questionnaire. Ask for more information. Итак, разговорная часть, интервью, друг друга спрашиваем, используя опросник. What kind of secondary school did you go to? В какую школу ты ходил? Your education, your school. What kind of secondary school did you go to? Next. Was it a mixed school or a single-sex? Школа, например, только для девочек или только для мальчиков, это single-sex, или смешанная. Did you like it? How many students how many students did you have in each class? Do you think is it okay to have that number? What time did your school day start and finish? Subject and homework, rules and discipline. Итак, как вы видите, здесь вопросы без вспомогательных глаголов, поэтому мы будем их переделывать так, чтобы друг другу их задать правильно. Прочитайте, подготовьтесь. Section 4. Listening. Read and the description of a BBC program and answer the questions. Давайте послушаем программу BBC и ответим на вопросы. Так, не послушаем, а прочитаем. It's here. Chinese versus British. Which education system is better? Китайская и британская система обучения. Что лучше? Okay, now let's listen to week 1. Why are these times and numbers a shock for the students? А теперь давайте послушаем, что происходило в первую неделю, почему время и распорядок был таким шоком для студентов.
7.7 Week 1 On the first day of week 1, students change their normal school uniforms for Chinese-style tracksuits. They start the day much earlier than usual, at 7 in the morning, with 30 minutes of physical exercise. In Britain, PE is usually fun, and students only have 2 hours a week. But in the Chinese system, students do PE every day. Then lessons begin, and students get another shock. All 50 of them are together in one class. In Britain, the maximum is normally 30. But in China, it's common to have 50 kids in one room. They stop for lunch early, at 11:30. Classes finish at 5. but they're not allowed to go home. They have dinner at school, and after dinner they still have a lot of homework and self-study. When they finish at 7, they have to clean the classroom. The school day is 12 hours long. British students find this exhausting.
Okay, now let's listen to week 2 and 3 and tick the things which are true about the Chinese teachers in the experiment. Слушаем неделю 2 и 3, и здесь есть утверждения. Отметьте те, которые являются правдивыми.
7.8 Weeks 2 and 3
There are big differences between Chinese and British teaching styles. The Chinese teachers teach very fast. Everything is done in books and on paper, and there is a lot of copying from the board. In Britain, for example, in science, the approach is to let students do experiments and discover things by themselves, with less help from the teacher. Discipline is also very different in British and Chinese schools. In China, the teachers have complete authority. But in Britain, the same teachers are having problems. They're surprised that the students don't take school seriously. When her students don't pay attention, Miss Yang, the science teacher, makes them stand and look at the wall. But it doesn't seem to work very well. As Rosie, one of the students, says, "It probably works in China because everybody does what their teacher says. But here, we don't care. We think it's funny." By week 3, there is a serious problem with discipline. Some students like the Chinese system, but a lot of others are behaving badly in class, and some students stop coming to class completely. The Chinese teachers are losing control and realise they need to change the way they are teaching, or their students will fail the tests in week 4. They start to teach the children about Chinese culture and food, and they add Chinese face massage to their daily lessons. They also try to teach patience and concentration using traditional Chinese games. During a meeting with the parents, the Chinese teachers try to get them to help and to encourage their children to work hard. The parents are impressed, and the Chinese teachers are filled with new energy and confidence.
Okay, then let's listen to week 4 and complete the numbers in the chart. What did the British and Chinese teachers learn? Слушаем неделю 4 и заполняем эту таблицу. Чему же научились британские и китайские учителя?
7.9 Week 4
During the last week of the experiment, the children in the Chinese class are behaving better. At the end of the week, all the students from the classes with Chinese teachers and the classes with British ones take tests in maths, science and Mandarin. These tests will decide which style of teaching has worked better. So, what do the results show? In the maths test, the children taught by British teachers get an average of 54%, and the class taught by Chinese teachers gets 68%. In science, British taught students get 50% and Chinese taught students get 58%. And in Mandarin, British taught students get 37% and Chinese taught students get 46%. The Chinese teachers are delighted. and their students are really grateful and happy. So, the Chinese teachers get better results. But does that mean their teaching methods are better? Neil Stroger, the head teacher at the school, says it clearly gets good results, but the discipline is too strict for some students. The Chinese teachers agree that their method doesn't help to develop personality or creativity. Perhaps the last word should go to Miss Lee, the Mandarin teacher. As she says, it's very hard to say which system is better, but I think we both learnt from each other.
Okay, and then answer the questions in small groups. We'll do it in our class. What do you think is good or bad about the Chinese system? Would secondary school students in your country be shocked by the Chinese education system? Why not? Why yes? Would you prefer to study in a British school or Chinese one? Where would you prefer to work as a teacher? And now, section 5, grammar, first conditional and future time clauses, when, until. Итак, переходим к придаточным предложениям, условия времени. And first, A, in pairs answer the questions. И сначала отвечаем на вопросы. When was the last time you did an exam? Did you pass or fail? What's the next exam you are going to do? How do you feel about it? And etc. Then listen to Olivia, who is waiting for her A-level results, and answer the questions. Давайте послушаем Оливию, которая ждет результатов своего тестирования финального, да, это как у нас НЦТ, и ответим на вопросы. Okay, read the information box here, exam results, and then now listen to Olivia, who has got her results, what grades did she get, and what's she going to do. Послушаем Оливию, которая получила уже результаты, какие у нее оценки и что она собирается делать.
7.11.
Olivia, I can see from your face that the results weren't exactly what you wanted. Am I right?
Yeah, I got an A star in biology, an A in chemistry and physics, and only a B in maths. Not quite good enough.
So, what are you going to do now?
At the moment, cry. When I feel a bit more positive, I'll try to get a place at another university. But I'd really like to go to Cambridge, so I might take my A-levels again next year.
How did your parents react? Were they angry?
No, my mum and dad have been really nice. They know how disappointed I am.
And can you remember what Olivia said? Try to complete the sentences, don't listen and check. А теперь здесь есть предложения, которые фразы из того, что вы услышали, попробуйте их заполнить. Okay, now it's time to go to the grammar bank and do some exercises and theory first. Теперь время пришло, чтобы пойти в раздел грамматики, изучить ее и сделать упражнения. So, we start from the first conditional and future time clauses. And let's listen to the sentences.
7.13. 1.
If you work hard, you'll pass your exams.
The teacher won't be very pleased if we're late for class.
2.
Come and see us next week if you have time.
3.
Alison won't get into university unless she gets good grades.
I won't go unless you go too.
Итак, читаем объяснение. We use first conditional sentences to talk about a possible, probable future situation and its consequences. Мы используем условное время, придаточные условия, когда хотим говорить о возможном или вероятном будущем и его последствиях. Первое. We use the present tense, not the future, after if in the first conditional sentence. И главное правило Мы никогда не используем будущее время после if, или после until, или после when в этом смысле. Мы всегда используем настоящее. 2. We can also use an imperative instead of the will clause. Можно всегда использовать также императив, то есть побуждать к какому-то действию вместо той части предложения, где должно быть будущее. Это есть во втором примере. Come and see. 3. We can use unless plus present simple instead of if, not in conditional sentences. Compare. Alison won't get into university if she doesn't get good grades. Мы также сможем использовать unless и простое настоящее вместо if, not, вместо условного, да? Например, Элисон не попадет в университет, если не получит хороших оценок. А здесь у нас было Alison won't get into university until she gets. Вот unless, это уже тут есть отрицание, поэтому unless she gets, двойное отрицание в английском нельзя. А здесь if she doesn't get. Все правильно. Итак, идем на future time clauses. Слушаем.
7.14.
We'll have dinner when your father gets home.
As soon as you get your exam results, call me.
I won't go to bed until you come home.
I'll have a quick lunch before I leave.
After I finish university, I'll probably take a year off and travel.
Okay, we use the present tense, not the future, after when, as soon as, until, before and after to talk about the future. Во всех случаях, когда мы говорим о будущем, и там есть слова after, when, as soon as, until, before, мы никогда не используем будущее время грамматически, хотя говорим грамматически о будущем, мы используем настоящее. So, now complete with the present simple of future, with will and the verbs in brackets. У вас есть глаголы в скобочках, и вы ставите в нужную форму. If I fail my exams, I'll take them again next year. То есть после if нельзя будущее, а после запятой можно. Итак, B. Circle the correct word or expression. Обводим правильное слово или выражение. Например, I won't go to university if I don't get good results. Потому что после if мы используем отрицание, а после unless отрицание не используем. Поэтому выбрали if. So, this will be your home task. So, section 6, reading and speaking. In pairs, answer the questions that match your situation. Будем отвечать на вопросы по ситуации. Например, are you at university? No. Have you been to university or did you want to go to university? Были в университете, учились, сейчас учитесь или хотите пойти? Наша ситуация. Вот здесь вы учитесь в университете уже. Okay, then now look at the question on a UK student website. What do you think it is really worth means? Так, читаем вопрос на студенческом сайте, the UK student site. И что на самом деле значит этот вопрос? Is it really worth going to uni? Действительно, стоит ли учиться в университете? Now read the comments and mark them yes, it's worth it, or no, it isn't worth it, or it's sometimes worth it. То есть yes, no, or sometimes. Читаем комментарии. So, which of the comments do you think are true about university education in your country? Как вы думаете, какие комментарии относятся к нашей образовательной системе и правда для наших реалий? Now look at the photos of Jack Turner and Emily Fleur Sizemore. Which of them do you think is happier? Jack Turner, 23, has a degree and unemployed. Emily Fleur Sismour didn't go to university and runs her own business. Okay, and it's time to do communication, university or not, page 108 and 112. So, ask and answer about Jack and Emily Fleur. So, a short text about Jack and questions about him, and a short text about Emily and questions. So, the last section for today, hopefully, is speaking in small groups. Each choose a different topic from the list. Decide if you agree or disagree and write down at least 3 reasons. Вот есть здесь темы. School, university. Нужно выбрать хотя бы одну, вернее, нужно выбрать одну и написать 3 пункта, почему вы согласны или не согласны. School doesn't prepare students for life. They should be taught practical things like childcare and how to cook healthy food. Например, в школе не готовят к реальной жизни или к практическим вещам. Лучше бы учили, как заботиться о детях и готовить здоровую еду. Or physical education should be optional and boys and girls should be taught physical education separately. Или, например, физкультура должна быть опциональным предметом, и мальчики и девочки должны заниматься отдельно. Or about university. University courses are too long. They should be a maximum of 2 years. Или, например, университетское образование это очень долго. 2 года достаточно. University students shouldn't be allowed to have jobs during term time. Или студентам нельзя разрешать работать, пока они учатся. Explain to the rest of your group what you think about your topic. The others in the group should listen. At the end, they can vote for whatever they agree or disagree with you and say why. То есть вы высказываетесь на эту тему, хотя бы 3 даете причины, почему вы думаете, что это правда или неправда. And how to organize or present your opinions. Как можно презентовать свое мнение. The topic I've chosen is. Сначала объявляете тему. The topic I've chosen is. Тему, которую я выбрала, это. И начинаете. I completely agree. Я полностью согласна. I partially agree. Я частично согласна. I completely disagree. Я полностью не согласна. That. Что? И начинается. First of all, во-первых, I think that. Дальше. My second point is that. Второе. Это. Another important point is that. And finally, пожалуйста, выстроите свою речь вот таким образом. Мы это обязательно будем проверять. And that's it. Oh my goodness. На этом все. Thanks for your attention. See you. Bye-bye.